Good afternoon, Renegade here with your Holy Priest guide. After the patch, a lot has changed. Um, some things got nerfed, some things got buffed, but overall, there are a few changes that it would make. I will discuss Mythic Plus and I will discuss raiding. Uh, at the first tier, Enlightenment is still the most valuable option. Mana is always there to help you. Some people would say enduring renewal is still good. I beg the difference because if I got that little bit of more mana, I can spam heal somebody up where it's needed in high mythics, definitely. Uh, what is true about it is that if you have a higher item level, it can be interesting to look somewhere else, but it also depends on your trinkets and how you manage your mana overall. Then in the second tier, there is no other option than Feather. Feather is movement in Mythic Plus and in raiding. I would not take anything else. Then in the third raid, Cosmetic Ripple is still the most powerful in my eyes. Um, there's not much else in this tier. So yeah, I would just stick with that. Then the next one, I have it on Psycho Voice at the moment, but to be fair, in Mythic Plus and in raiding, it is kind of best to use Shimmering Force. It's another cooldown that can save your ass plenty of times, so to say. It helped me for sure in high mythics. Psychic Voice is also a possibility. Depends in which instance you run and how you run them. If you can fear them in a good way without pulling more, it can be a very, very strong cooldown. We used them this week because we wanted to check something out. That's why I still have it in my spec. If we go to the next tier, this is my Mythic Plus talent tree, so to say. Search of Light in Mythic Plus is the strongest this day. The Flash Shield is so strong when you need them. You can save them and just use them when you get 2 stacks so you don't overlap them, so to say. In raiding, I would always go with Circle of Healing. It's just so strong. Definitely if you combine them. If you combine your Circle of Healing with the effect of your Holy Word Sanctify, it's just like another cooldown. And if you are able, even pop Halo to it. Normally I would start in raiding with my Holy Word Salvation, and the next cooldown I would do Divine, and the third cooldown I would use Circle of Healing, Halo and Holy Word Sanctify at once. If I play right, then the next one can be Salvation again and Divine Hymn, and so on and so on. I can always, on every cooldown that's needed, spam the Circle, the Halo and the Sanctification. If you combine it with other raid members, you can definitely put some nice healing out there, even with low geared. And if you get higher geared and your grids becomes higher, it is just insane how much Circle of Healing can do. Well, it's already said, Halo is for the next tier in raiding just the best option. There's no other option. I would run Benediction in Mythics over Divine Star. I find Divine Star interesting for some dungeons, definitely, but for most I would run with Benediction, even when it's nerfed. It used to be 30, it's 25 now. Still, I find more use out of it. And then the last tier, you can kind of choose. I've been changing the two around for mythics, so to say. Apotheosis is very powerful in the high mythics, but Salvation does cover your ass a lot if there's slight mistakes, if there's AoE damage coming in, and situational I would change it. I always have the books to change it, but overall I would run with Salvation even in mythics, and for raiding Salvation is in my eyes the only option. What's new else? Your basic heals will heal more since the expansion, so to say. Um, do keep in mind that our AoE healing and our cooldowns are still very powerful. You just need to overlap some of them, so to say. So only a salvation isn't enough anymore. You can do a nice halo, a few circles when you're healing them. Your divine hymn is still powerful, but I would still reckon to sometimes time them, so to say, that you can do a halo with a sanctify afterwards. It is situational. Sometimes you have ticking damage coming in. If you take Gong, for instance, you know when it's coming. If your mastery is high up, you pop halo just before it, and then you push your cooldowns, so to say. Sometimes you know it's ticking damage, so you use halo afterwards. It's all dependent on the mastery and the crit you have. Keep those things in mind and you have a very easy life in raid healing. If I drop below 20%, I can use hope. If I drop below that even, I would go to heal and just spam that for a bit, and always save a little bit of mana so I can use those nice cooldowns. I mean, even with heal, the things come off cooldown. Prayer of healing, it's very, very nice. When you have enough mana, under 20%, I would not use it, only if you really, really need to. And for the rest, nothing actually changed that much. Some things do a little bit less, some things do a little bit more. It's kind of, they want to push us in a little bit more mana management efficient way, but that's also because the gear level is bumped up a lot, and when you do get more gear, you will have no hard time to heal. Even with my 385, I can easily heal heroics, and I can easily do a mythic plus 10, even a mythic plus 12. It is really dependent on the DPS you have, of course, how long a fight lasts, but in raids, with this build and with this gear, which isn't the best, I would still push out around 25k healing per second, and people won't die. It's the easiest, so to say. If you do manage to get up higher, I would suggest to get crit around 30% and a mastery around 30% if you can. But there's not that much gear we can get. Yes, you can spam mythic pluses to get the good stats, but rating wise, you will see a lot of haste on most parts where you don't really want it. And I would take versatility over haste, of course, because it's just raw healing. For the rest, I can just tell you, as a priest, you do want to get those good trinkets in. So you do want to look in the mythic pluses, Shriner of Storms, Temple of Centralis, where you can get good trinkets. And for raiding, yeah, the best is still this one. It helps a lot, and you get the nice big heals out of it. For the rest, it's not that hard. You can pick up any item you want, and item level is always more than the other stats, but you do want to aim towards that crit and mastery, because it will help you in the end. And that's it for now, guys. I hope to see you next time.